Hello everyone, welcome to I Jump Instead and welcome to this 30-minute lower body strength and flexibility routine on a rebounder. I am Trophy Steffi. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be jumping on my Jump Sport 350 Pro rebounder for today's class. We're going to get right into 3 minutes of warm-up moves for the lower body, and then we're going to do 10 minutes of steps to activate and strengthen the lower body and the core muscles. This is going to be great for getting the body nice and warm and ready to go for the next segment, which is going to be leg inversion exercises for strength and flexibility. So we're going to have our back on the mat, and we're going to have our legs and arms up in the air, and we're going to work on mobility and strength. I'm going to have a towel and a pillow underneath me, the towel behind my back, the pillow underneath my head. Both of these are optional, but highly recommended. Then to finish off class, we're going to do 5 minutes of bridge pose practice, which means we're going to have our backs on the mat. Then we're going to have our feet either on the ground or up on the bar, depending on how tall you are. If you're a shorty, then you might have to put your feet on the rim. But we're going to be in bridge pose for about 4 minutes, and we're going to really activate the glutes and the hamstrings, and we're going to play around and see how it feels and see if we can bring it to motion. Are you ready? This is a beginner-friendly class, 30 minutes. It starts now. Let's do it. So first things first, health bounce. I want your feet in a nice wide stance, hands on the bar. I want you to lift through the spine, lifting the chest, shoulders open, chin level, teeth closed. As the shoulders come down, the neck gets longer, and we are reaching and lengthening through the spine, getting just a little bit taller, eyes relaxed. Feel your body sinking into the down bounce, activating every single cell symmetrically throughout the entire body, front to back, side to side. See if you can stand up just a little bit taller, pulling those shoulders down, lengthen and reach. 3, 2, 1. Now let's go ahead and do some hip twists. So you can pull one heel forward at a time, opening up one leg and one hip, or you can do them both like this. A nice deep hip twist here. And whichever form you're doing, I want you to push your hips forward and squeeze into your glutes just slightly. So we are going to activate those glute muscles, go into those hips and get them nice and warmed up, ready to go. And I want you to engage your core muscles, keeping your shoulders open, your spine tall, chin level. Feel the symmetry in the movement, being very present in every single step, every single bounce. Let's go a little bit deeper by twisting those hips just a little bit more. 3, 2, and 1. Now let's go over to the side of the rebounder and let's do some leg kicks. So I notice that the kick happens when I'm in the top of the bounce and I'm releasing the hip, the knee, the ankle, the toes, the thigh, the calf. Just letting it all go with this nice gentle flutter kick. 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch sides, helping to really activate these muscles and prepare them for the step segment next. Really let go and release here. Feel the activation all the way up into the core muscles as well. 3, 2, and 1. Let's get right into some steps here. Toes facing forward, feet in a wide stance. Core muscles are engaged. Shoulders stay open. The hands can be on the bar or off. It's up to you. It's efficient both ways. And you can have your feet against the mat. You can have them partially lifting off the mat or full clearance with every step, as long as every landing is into the full flat foot. This is going to help you engage the front and the backs of the legs equally, as well as the inner and the outer legs. In order to bring up the intensity, if that's your goal, you can bend your knees a little bit more, or you can pick up the pace of your steps. If you want to bring down the intensity, you can stand up a little bit taller and slow it down. I want you to pay attention to the press through every step and just feel that weight distribution as symmetrical. Equal force here to strengthen both legs equally. Let's go ahead now and rotate so the toes are in a wide position. And go all the way out to your furthest comfortable flexibility, making sure the feet are still landing flat into the mat, connecting to the inner thighs, the inner knees, the ankles, all while the back is straight and the chin is level. Next up, we're going to bring the toes to an inward position, 3, 2, and 1. Now I want your knees to guide you. If in any of these positions your knees are feeling a little iffy and if there's any pain present, I want you to modify and just get into the position that feels good. So let's be very present here in every step, activating into the glutes, into the inner outer thighs, the hips, the knees and the ankles, everything getting so strong. And remember, you can step a little faster if you would like. You could push a little bit harder with each step, just as long as you are still nose breathing. Next up, let's put our feet into a staggered position, one forward, one back, and let's distribute the weight equally throughout each step, making sure that we have full foot contact into the mat, glutes, inner outer thighs, quads all activating equally. You could pay a little bit more attention to the glutes in this position, helping to activate them a little bit more. If you want, you can kind of feel the glutes doing a little bit of a reach behind you, kind of like we're sitting into a glute stretch. As we push down into the mat, connecting to both sides equally. Let's go ahead and switch positions in 3, 2, and 1. We really have an opportunity here to be super present. You might notice your thoughts coming through. Try to see if you can get back to the feeling in your glutes, the feeling in the symmetry, in the activation. Let's go ahead now and put our feet into a hip width stance. So not too wide, not too narrow, just right there in the center. I'm going to pick up the pace just a little bit just to explore myself. Excellent job. In the next minute, we're gonna have our feet together, staying right here in our steps. 3, 2, and 1. So see how this feels different. See which muscles now you have the opportunity of activating and connecting to in a unique way. I'm noticing that I want to do a little arch in the spine, and I want to push through the heels and help those glutes to get a little bit more activation. Pushing through the heels one at a time, very precisely connecting to each glute. Let's go ahead and do living room legs next. Stepping out, out, in, out, out, in. Here we go. If you would rather just stay in the position of a wider or a narrow stance, feel free to do that. And for the last minute, we're just going to step all around our mat, staying in the steps, and feel free to take your hands off the bar and just see if you can find a new view to enjoy, making sure the core is engaged in order to help you with stability. You can have your feet as wide or as narrow as you desire. You can explore all foot positions, staggered foot, wide toe, narrow toes. Just do it all if you can. And next up, we're going to lay down and do our leg inversion next. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do just a little bit of gentle health bounce. And when you're ready, let's lay down. And the first move is going to be jitterbug, legs and arms in the air. And we shake, 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 helping with mobility and strength in the joints and the tendons, and ligaments of our lower body. So head on the pillow, and we're shaking. So in this segment, we can have our head lifted off the pillow, but we're gonna end up needing to bring the head back down when the head needs rest. And I want us to lift our head in intervals based on our own energy levels or strength levels in the neck, and just stay in your intervals, and they'll be perfect for you throughout the entire 10 minutes. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Let's go ahead and lengthen through the legs, pointing through the toes, and let's reach through the arms as well. I want you to feel your shoulders lifting up, core is engaged, and I want you to point the toes, and now I want you to bring the palms back and flex the feet. And now I want you to point the toes, but bring the palms all the way forward this time. And now, palms come all the way back, flex the feet. Point the toes, palms forward. Flex, palms back. Point, palms forward, really stretching through the ankles and wrists here. Flex, palms back, point, palms forward, really stretch and reach here, and flex, palms back. Next up, I want you to reach up and do some scissor kicking here and a little bit of a stretch and squeeze in your legs. And when you're ready, bring your head down. As always, when you need that rest, we're really strengthening into the neck muscles and the upper spine, and be gentle with yourself. Just lay your head down when you need a break. So see if you can lift up just a little bit more when you're upright and you're activating. And keep those legs in motion. They're inverted. We're reaping all the benefits of leg and arm inversion. See if you can straighten up those legs just a little bit more and reach with those arms just a little bit more. Three, 2, 1. Stay right here. Keep the arms in place and do crisscross with your legs. And I want you to lengthen through the legs. You might feel a little flex in your thighs, kind of like a ballerina. Keep those toes pointed and really do this move with intention, with precision. Teeth are closed. Feeling the inner thighs activating. Lengthening through the arms and upper body, core engaged. Next up, we're going to do the knee and elbow bends and squeeze. 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, squeeze and reach. And bring it down for a nice squeeze, all 4 limbs, and reach. Really lengthen here. Squeeze, hamstrings into the calves, and reach. Squeeze, forearms into the biceps, and reach. Now really focus, all 4 limbs here, squeeze and reach. Squeeze, use those core muscles, reach. Squeeze and reach. Squeeze and reach. Teeth are closed. Squeeze and reach. Squeeze, reach. One more time. Squeeze and reach. Next up, we're going to split the legs for a nice deep stretch into the inner thighs. And I want you to lean into each leg, opening up those hips, those inner thighs. You can continue lifting your head in intervals if you desire, or we can take a nice rest. Notice how comfortable the surface is behind your back, creating a nice soft space. Push into those inner knees. You might even pause in the middle and kind of do a little gentle pump into the inner thighs and hips, progressing your flexibility here now. You might point the toes, get those legs a little bit straighter. Three, 2, and 1. Legs come up. Now we're going to go into the hamstrings. And so we bring our legs towards our body, however that looks for us. And I want you to flex your feet and reach through the heels. This is going to help you to open up the calves, the knees, the hamstrings, and help you to go a little deeper into the back of your legs. Keep those feet flexed, reaching through the heels, soft bend in the knees, and lengthen into those hamstrings, those hips, those glutes. Using the surface behind your back however you desire. If you notice, you can rock or lean side to side a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Legs up in the air, arms up in the air. Let's do wrist and ankle rotations. Slowly, all in one direction to start. Really feel into your wrists. Feel into your ankles. Teeth closed. Let's go ahead and switch directions. Have intention here to go deeper. Three, 2, 1. Arms and legs up. Open the palms. Open the toes. Really stretch those hands and feet wide and hold it right there. Next up, jitterbug again. So shake the arms and legs for 1 whole minute. You might be lifting your head again for the intervals, or you can have your neck resting, whichever one you're called to do. Keep going, keep going. You're strengthening here, creating so much flexibility, mobility, and you're healing. 3, 2, 1. Let's do some body tapping, starting with the legs. You might do the feet if you can, and then work your way down. You can do both hands on one leg or just slap both legs at the same time. Every slap counts. And go ahead too and get those arms while they're inverted. Three, 2, and 1. Now let's go ahead and first let's just tuck our knees into our chest. And let's see if we can go a little bit deeper into this stretch here as we pull our knees in, feeling the tops of the thighs, the hips, the core muscles, all connecting here. You might point your toes and really tuck yourself into a little ball. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. See if you can go a little bit deeper into your flexibility, wherever you are at. Love it, accept it. Just be here now and feel the progression and be very grateful for that progression. That's what we have to stay focused on, is that we are on track. And now let's go ahead and release and put our feet on the ground. Now, if you're a shorty, you might need to be putting your feet on the rim of the rebounder. If you can reach and your feet go down comfortably on the ground, then let's do that. And I want you to lift your glutes up in the air for this bridge pose and make sure to adjust your back or, where your feet are positioned in order to be in the most comfortable bridge pose you can. And I want you to take a moment first to lift through the glutes and really connect here with your glute activation. And then I want you to switch into the focus of pushing your feet down into the ground or into the rim of the rebounder. And feel the hamstrings activate with this isometric exercise. Feel your feet pushing down, connect to that, connect to those hamstrings. Relax the shoulders, breathe through the nose. And we want to explore here. This is practice. So you might take into consideration that behind your back is flexible. It's a moving surface. You might do just a little bit of bobbing or pumping into this move. Focusing on pushing down through the feet. You might even bring your knees in and out just slightly, feeling into the flexibility in the hips as we keep the glutes up. And as always, take breaks when you need, and then get back to it when you're ready. So keep the eyes relaxed, keep the teeth closed, and notice that the breath is enhancing your strength. Notice that you are staying very calm and not using up any extra energy to tense up your face or your neck or your shoulders. Instead, all the energy is in the activation of your lower body. Make sure your knees are happy. You can connect to your lower back as well, your hamstrings. And now let's shift the focus into our glutes. So if you need to bring your hips down, reposition. This time I want you to, again, lift the glutes up into that hip thrust. But now I want you to squeeze your glutes and connect with your glute activation. Both glutes equally. Hold it right there with an upper body relaxation, slow nose breath, and then have fun. Play around. For me, just introducing the babyest bounce is super effective. It keeps me very present in my glute squeeze. And this is so important. You might take a moment to visualize your glutes activating. Connect to the very top of the glutes, near your lower back. Visualize the outer glutes activating, squeezing into them. Connect to the main center meat of your glutes, squeezing there and activating there, tucking them up. Now connect to the lower glute. You might squeeze there just a little bit more. And practice your connection skills, your visualization skills, your contracting skills, your calm nose breathing skills. Now you might push through the bottoms of your feet and lift the glutes and squeeze them. We got one more minute here. Just baby motion to the squeeze, to the push down, through the feet. Maybe the knees come in and out just a little bit. Just feeling flexibility and range of motion. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's go ahead and tuck our knees back into our chest. For one more round here, let's use the flexible surface behind our back to lean into some nice deep glute and hamstring stretches, hip stretches. Oh, yes. You might get the knees all the way over to one side, keeping your shoulders both square down on the mat. Feeling into the lower back there. A couple gentle taps on the glutes. And switch over to the other side if you're joining me for this stretch. And for the final minute, legs come up and rest against the bar. And let's lay here in relaxation, starting with the forehead, the eyes, and the jaw, neck and shoulders, the core, hips, knees, and ankles. Slowing down the breath. I want you to visualize your legs flushing, draining, recovering, healing, and strengthening. I have a tip for you for visualization. Feel what it feels like to have the legs inverted. When you find that feeling, whatever that feeling is for you, you can call that feeling recovery. We can take any feeling that we have in our entire body and we can label it however we want. This feeling means strength. This feeling means recovery. This feeling means healing. And that is a way to connect visually, but more so through the feeling. And be present with that. Let it really sink in. Three, 2, and 1. When you're ready, you can bring your feet down or you can stay in a leg inversion position for as long as you desire. I recommend putting the feet down and pausing here for a few moments. And then you can sit up and pause in the seated position. And that is all for today's class. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this workout. If you did, please give me a like. I would love to see this video get more likes than usual. If you can please drop a like, that would be wonderful. And if you could comment below, send me the amount of months or years that you have been jumping instead. Or maybe it's a certain amount of days. Go ahead and report how long have you been jumping in the comment section. I would love to see your feedback. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. I want everyone subscribed so you see that more routines just like this are coming your way. Thanks again, everyone, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.